Call this, you ready, Lou? Yeah. All right, call this meeting to order. Look for acceptance of the minutes of the May 21, 2025 regular scheduled meeting.
Aye. Second.
Marini, second by Carla. All those in favor? Any changes, additions? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Is that the last meeting we had? It was May 21st?
That was it, because the June was canceled.
Okay.
Yeah, June was canceled because the board was approving all the policies you sent for June.
Okay. So, continued review of policies, the 1000 series. We had, Marini and I had, and Jess Morelli had gone through it. Is this,
It's all set now, so I brought these all over. I went through our communication task force book that they had created and confirmed that everything is kosher within these. So if you, all the changes you made and the updates that you guys made in here, from our perspective, are fine and good and positive. So if you guys want to send these to the board, you can.
so how do we know what changes we made?
It was in an email Marina had sent to you guys.
And you guys had it in the past, everything was good, you were gonna pass them, but then you gave them to Heather to
Yeah.
make sure that the.
Yeah, I just wasn't
Yeah,
sure
so you
if-
guys had gotten a red line email from Marina that had all the changes in it.
Okay.
Your team
It was a
reviewed
while
it.
ago. It was.
Yep, and I said, great, but I
Would you
gotta like
still
just
have
check
it?
with the task force.
I can send you a copy.
We'll forward it
Okay,
to you.
well, maybe, I know the board's gonna ask for it.
Yeah, of course.
So, if we could maybe at least even just send it to the board.
Sure.
And then did you guys in communication make changes?
Nope, no changes.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure it aligned, because
Sure.
we had just had the communication task force put together that communication guidebook, and I wanted to make sure this didn't conflict.
Okay, so.
When I send it out, I can send the other with it, so the board can see.
Yeah, maybe even just send out the red line copy and, yeah, so.
I mean, I feel good about what we did. We worked hard on that.
Yeah, oh yeah, took us a while. Yeah, I'm glad we had a second set of eyes
No,
on
it's
it.
good.
So I would look for a motion to send to the board with a favorable recommendation.
So moved.
Second by Susan, second by Chris, any discussion?
I have one question, shouldn't be a big one, but on community videotaping of staff and students,
What page?
it's, wow, page 1 of 1, but it's policy 1112.6. It's towards the back, maybe in the middle.
I see it. It's right before the permission slip for media coverage, if you're looking at that way. It's right
Yeah.
before that one, if that'll help you guys.
Maybe you could just read it, Jack.
Got it.
Well, it just says that videotaping and filming of school district employees shall have the prior written consent of the building principal and the participating employees, and the permission slip is for student. Do we need one for employees as well?
I went over this with HR and she said no.
Okay.
According to Floyd, and when you guys sign on as employees, I get to take a picture whether you like it or not.
So do we need to say then that if we videotape or film a district employee, we need their prior written consent?
Probably not, but that was, Kate's.
I mean, we've done videotaping of teachers before, and if we have to, we would just have them sign something saying it's okay to videotape my class.
So if the last sentence, if film or videotape is to be used for any purpose other than the purpose set forth in the employee consent form, then release waiver forms shall be attained for each participating employee.
Maybe that's the disclaiming statement. If
Yeah.
it's used for other things besides educational purposes, then they have to
On
be.
the employee consent form.
Yes, we have an employee consent form when they sign on. in the workhouse.
Okay. Been a long time since I signed on.
You've been here a while.
All right.
You might not have signed one, they might not have had one.
Yeah.
The video,
There was no
camera's
video
back.
camera.
Chalk, the chalk on the board has run.
All right. No further.
Okay.
Anything else?
Just on the cover, the fourth issue of the policy update for the 24-25, do you want 25-26? Is it for
It's
the
on the
upcoming
CAVE.
year?
This is the CAVE one.
Okay.
Oh,
Did we
this
make it?
is something I'm gonna present to you in a minute.
Okay.
It's not ours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was just this whole? just
Oh,
this-
okay, yeah, got it.
I just have a silly question on the videotaping or the photos. It's silly. The high school we have the senior walk every year, and we always take lots of pictures. We really don't know those students if they have permission or not, or does that make any sense?
No, what we do is we pass out,
Okay.
parents fill out forms if they do not want their kids to be photographed
Right,
anyway.
okay.
I would say we've gotten one back in the last 5 years.
Okay.
So if there ever was someone going on it the people on the chaperones on the bus would know, but it's
Okay.
not really an issue.
That's the most time we take a lot of
Yeah.
pictures, okay.
I don't even think I remember a middle school one in a long time.
And we do have the consent form for media coverage.
It's included in the packet, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Continue to review policies, proposed revisions, updates.
Okay, so
That's
this
you.
is kind of like, welcome to a new year, okay? CABE has sent, and Teresa and I have reviewed, all of the changes from this past legislative session that have impacted the policies, okay? So now, this is every policy that has an update, a change, or something necessary. CABE put everything in red that has to change. So, I don't know how you want to divvy these up, Mike, and if you want to make little groups, but I wanted you to have this. My hope is you guys will review this, and then in September's policy meeting, be ready to start recommending some of these to the board for approval, okay? Nothing is like burning bridge, we have to do it immediately, right now. When they passed all these legislative changes, districts have this year to get these updated and fixed, okay? But there's a lot of them, and but there was a lot of legislative changes that came down the pipe. So I wanted to make sure that your group had this, because I do think that your first priority needs to be to make sure that we are updating a lot of these. I tried to do a crosswalk for you, but because we don't have a manual and everything is individual, we don't have like one thing that I could take and crosswalk with this to really show each of those pieces. From my perspective, some of the most important ones for you to know about is we do need to pass the 3 new library collection policies, and that's just about how we buy materials, how we display materials, and how people can complain if they don't like a book that is in there, that is in a library. Okay, we have to have 3 policies for that. Kate gave recommended policies for that. I know you guys can go through that.
So, the red lines are Kate's
Changes.
suggestion, and, okay, so I see on this page we've got some cross-outs, so we're crossing out, and we're adding red lines.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, I didn't see it on every page, so. Is everybody comfortable with just taking this whole thing and reading it, or?
Going through it, so we're just looking at the red.
Yep, you're looking at
Changes,
each of
yeah,
the,
okay.
so the first part of this basically tells you what they're gonna change. So
Okay.
these are not the policies, these are just, hey, legislation passed, and now you need to update this, and you need to update that, and then it gives all the recommendations. Some of it, you know, I know, so we can deal with it, like, for example, if Mr. Del Piano put a student up for expulsion that was also on our McKinney-Vento list, we cannot just expel them anymore. There's new laws for that, so that does, you know, affect our discipline changes, but I know those things, so it's, you know, we just have to,
But we need to be comparing what we have versus what's in here.
yes, which is why I wanted to do the crosswalk for you.
Yeah.
But we didn't
Yeah.
have a manual, so I couldn't put both in to crosswalk it, but Teresa's gonna work on that, and if she can, I may be able to get that to you between now and the next meeting.
And if there's a suggestion here that you don't necessarily agree with, you have the option of not including it or not?
Only if it isn't a direct relation to the
Oh,
legislation.
gotcha, okay.
If it's the law, it's the law.
Well, the law's the law,
Right.
right, but I wasn't, okay.
So you'd have to know, and you do, because I just gave you guys all the new legislation and policies and
Yeah.
updates.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, you'd have to know that that's not.
Would it be easier to divvy up like the sections? So we have the 1s, the 5s, the 6s, and the 3. I was looking, at
Yep.
it's 1s, 3s, 5s, and
And
6s.
sixes.
So I'm thinking of just trying to be,
Efficient.
that's a great word, efficient, because instead of all of us looking through
Right.
all of this,
You can take
should we take sections?
Yeah, you guys
And do the
partner
comparing,
up.
and, partner up, and do a comparing and contrasting, because we have to look at our Stratfords in this, which is nice to have a partner to, you look at Stratford, I look at this, let's read it together. But would it make sense to do like, I wish we had the rest of the team, but like, 2 of us do 1, 3, 2 of us do 5, 6, I don't know.
So the ones, there's 4 1s, the 3s and 5s. There are 3 of those, and there's 3 6s.
Right, so it's
So they're
really
pretty
even.
evenly balanced.
Yeah, I think it's
out.
pretty evenly balanced, so.
Yeah, like if you guys did 1s, 5s, 6s,
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
what,
can do fives.
I don't care, I'll do whatever, you wanna do ones with me?
Sure, I'll do one.
Public complaints is part of the library one.
Yeah.
And 3.
Library has 3 policies. They don't want one policy with everything in it, they want 3 separate
Mhm.
policies.
And when I was checking it on your cover page. I
Yeah, and we
realized
actually
public complaints is
don't
part of it.
have those. Those are something new for us. So, and you'll know that, 'cause when you go to look it up, you'll be like, we don't have a library policy under this number, so it's a new one.
Heather, policy 3, is that something that we should tackle? Well, not 3, sorry, yeah, 3. Nope. 5, the non-lapsing educational fund?
3171.
Yeah.
So
Probably have some pain in it.
that, I'm gonna have Pam look at. And this is the one where, Mike, we haven't ever used it,
Okay?
right? But it's the one that says that if the money's still here, we get to keep it.
Mhm.
Divided up to 2%.
Yeah, up to 2%. So, we know that, the town knows that, we haven't really implemented that at this point. I am gonna have Kate look at the special education ones as well, just to make sure that those are on par, and those are in the 600, so I'll get like the applicable school staff too, just to give any feedback for the next meeting as well.
So if there's no red in it, does that mean we're, oh, there it is.
Oh, no, there's red.
There's lots of red.
All right.
Yeah, throughout.
There's red and there's crossouts.
6 seems to be, 5 and 6 seem to be really.
Yeah, the ones that probably won't have as much red are the library ones, because they're new.
So I'll do the suspension and expulsion, I'll work with someone on that.
I was on the 5, so, yeah.
Okay.
And
This
Marina
is
and
our
I have
section
number
right here.
ones.
Okay, and
Which one?
then,
Well, the 5 section, I was just looking at how much.
and then the only one left
that gonna be Jack and-
is,
Yeah, me.
Checking.
well, there's 2 left, there's the 3s and the 6s. I can still do my math.
Well, Kate's gonna look at SPED, right, you said?
Yeah.
Which one is that? Is that 6?
Yeah,
Yeah.
6171
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not looking
and
at this.
6159?
Yeah,
Okay, so then all that's left is if you guys wanna do the 5s, then we're done.
no, the 3s.
Oh, the 3s, the
Threes.
pile of the 3s.
But there's also that number 7, the 6140 curriculum.
And Pam's gonna look at 3 first, though?
And there's only 3, the
Yeah.
3171.
And Pam's gonna give her, opinion on it, but you guys can look at
Okay.
it, it's not,
I'm out, I'll gladly read it over.
yeah.
So that would be, so what was left? 3171 and the 5?
And 6140 curriculum.
The 5, I think Jack and Carla are doing the 5s.
I'm gonna do, 5 with Carla.
Chris, you want to do,
Curriculum?
we'll look at the non-lapsing in the curriculum,
Yeah.
and we'll drag Bill
Well,
into it?
after Pam. reviews.
Yeah, yeah. So me, you, and Bill jump on that. So just from a time frame perspective, right, we've got August, we've got a September, October, and November meeting. I'd like to see whatever we do, get to the board at the very latest, which would be our last board meeting as it sits. November would be our last board meeting, so, worst case scenario, we'd want to have a vote, a recommendation on this by November, send it to the board. If we could do it sooner,
Yeah,
just
I
in
would
case.
prefer, if we could, to
Yeah.
vote in September.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get it done that quickly, September. and-
We should be able to turn it around.
Okay.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
We'll make
Is that in order,
time.
Heather?
We'll make time.
And we can go back and forth on even. That's
That's
right.
fine.
Yeah, and even if, even if we went to October, that would give us, in case there are questions or whatever it is, at our board, then we would have November's meeting to, but I would want to get these changes so we don't, you guys don't have whoever's here.
Yeah.
It goes
In
into.
December.
Oh, that's there.
And that's why I think we divvy it up, it'll be much easier.
Mhm.
What about curriculum? So we didn't come to the assigned curriculum.
I'll do curriculum.
I'll look at it if you want. Yeah?
That was what you, me, and Bill, but it's,
No, we were doing non-lapsing after Pam.
and I looped curriculum into it as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So you and me and Bill have 3171-1 and 6140.
Okay.
And then somebody else has the, Kate was gonna look at 6171.
Yeah, yeah.
And is
I'll
that,
do that.
is that specific? I mean, there's no need for us to look at it. There's-
No, I'll come back
it's
to
too
you with
technical. Yeah.
whatever recommendation we need to have. It's basically that they changed some of the regulations, and I talked to the administrators about it today, that you have to do FBAs before you
is pretty
recommend
easy.
outplacement, so they're making some legislation that make you have policy to make sure that happens.
Okay. And then, so I guess we're through with that piece. If anybody else has anything else on it?
No, it's just a lot, so I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure you guys had it early, and because this is a turnover year for the board, it's important that we do this work ahead of time.
And then I think the draft, So the next proposed other policy, I think the draft, I sent it, you had sent it to me.
Yep.
And I can't remember if we did it at one of our meetings.
Did we look at this at the board meeting?
Yeah, we included this in
It's
our,
already been
right, Teresa?
included, right?
Yes.
That's part of our bylaws.
That's part of the
Yeah,
bylaws.
so this is, Susan, already part of our bylaws?
Yeah.
As you submitted it to me?
You know, my understanding is that it was needed. And so you gave me a handwritten
Yes.
page, remember?
Yep.
And this is kind of just massaging it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And we reviewed it.
And you
and
did
approved it.
have that blurb in,
Went as
you
it
put
was.
it in the bylaws, you also said that if any changes, if anybody wanted to redo that one, it could be reopened.
yeah, so
Right.
if you want, or, because I don't have, are the bylaws posted yet?
Not yet, I'm still working on trying to get all of those cleaned up.
So if you can just verify that the language is identical?
Yep.
And if not, we can change it, so.
I will.
I think I had this, I think at some point you had sent this to me.
I did.
And
We
I-
were going to do it at the May
Yeah.
meeting?
Yeah.
No, the June meeting that got canceled.
Yeah. So-
That's what happened,
Mhm.
yeah.
And then I think Jack and Carla and,
The attendance,
was it, yeah. I
you
think
mentioned
three.
it to me, but
Yep.
yeah.
Well, as far as I knew, if you remember, Sam Rosenberg was suggesting some changes to the elementary language for attendance, because we have an attendance policy now,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I think in the year in practice, they put, first year, it's always some growing pains, but it worked phenomenal at the high school level.
Okay. But the three of you and Andrea, I think we're gonna look at that policy and the impact of it and what changes don't need to be made or.
We had our best attendance rates in a while, right?
We did,
Yeah,
we're below the state.
yeah.
I mean, we finally had a policy, I think, that held all levels accountable, gave us some structure.
So you, Andrea, and Carla will look at that and-
Yep.
and just give us your input on how it's worked and if any changes need to be made or leave it, whatever it is. Maybe it's different for different grades. All right. And then any other, and that was, so we've had admission placement table for
That was the
511.
one for registrations, and we were waiting for all of the redistricting. We probably need to revisit it at the next one to see. And I'll show it to you, because I know when we put it on there, it was too early. We had not set the boundaries for redistricting yet.
51111 was tabled. So, yeah, if we can figure out what's
I'll look
there.
at that and
Okay.
see what we need to do then now.
And then, I know you guys had started to go through the Board of Ed policy handbook. You had, I think, Chris, you and your group, Carla and Sue, or Susan, were looking at some of these things I think you maybe thought had approximately first 25% of the printed handbook. Stuff was, I think, AI related, was it?
Or outdated.
Or outdated,
Particularly
or-
outdated. If
Okay.
you look, there's not only dates, but it may involve Heather asked us to take a look and identify any policies that might have anything to do with the AI
Yeah.
policy,
Okay.
so that it can be aligned.
I just remember the section I looked at, there was nothing necessarily AI, but I thought there were a couple of areas that AI could possibly be a part of. I wasn't sure.
Isn't there an AI committee too?
Yeah.
There's a task
Yeah.
force.
Task force.
So
And I
we
was told it's
could,
gonna be
in
sent to
essence,
Phil or
have that
something.
be something the AI task force looks at and then gives it to you guys as a presentation and says, hey, here's what we see as the impact. And that might be the best way for you to go about doing it.
So on this, the first, the second, third, fourth, and fifth are in the 1000s, which will get revised. That's this packet with the paperclip. Those all get
Okay.
revised. The missions and goals, I don't know if we talked about it here, I talked about it with Heather. We took that on and felt that a lot of it had to do with the strategic operating plan and decided not to touch it until the new strategic operating plan was developed.
Which will be an issue.
And then we could jump back into that and then,
It made no
And-
sense to change it and then maybe
Yeah.
have to change it again.
yeah, yeah. And I know you were working
Yep.
on that to some extent, so. Would your group, it says you've gone through 25%?
Actually, Mike, do you have the policy handbook review and the in-gang activity?
No, no.
Okay.
Mine go, I
Carla,
go,
you added to this, right? So,
It's been so long.
I
have
know.
to take a look at
Here,
that.
take a look at
It
this.
really has.
Okay.
So I did the first chunk and then we added on.
okay,
So again, we're looking at the age of the policy
Yeah.
in terms of priority of updating as well as any AI involved.
okay.
I'm just looking at my-
Oh, I remember that. You guys put that together as possibly, similar to curriculum where they have a
Yes.
curriculum cycle of
Yes.
review. That's the policy cycle of review.
Yeah. So,
We're saying those are
Yeah.
in need, given the
Yeah.
time.
so you guys have added about 12,
Yeah.
10 to 12.
Yeah.
Would you, can you, maybe forward that list to Teresa? So
Yes,
we get it?
sure.
And then would you feel comfortable with going through the rest of the handbook, just as a guide for the next?
How far does that list go?
You know, Carla, you did the last section. How far did you get?
I didn't finish it all. I got as far as 5141.3.
Okay. Oh, that's right, so we can follow the
Assessments
numbers.
and immunization, yeah, we did it by numbers. and
Yes.
I was shy a couple of, bullet
All right,
points.
what we can do is, we can continue to
Yep.
make certain that we review the entire, all the policies,
Hmm?
not
And
only for.
Honestly, this is gonna help you, because
It's gonna help us.
are gonna be in there,
Okay,
right? Because we're talking 6,000.
because we're gonna be updating.
Right.
Okay,
So,
so we will come back to the board
Yep.
with a revised
list.
list
Yep.
of policies in terms of what we think. We
Right.
made it a 10-year. They were greater than 10 years.
Mhm.
We thought they were important.
Yeah.
We were looking up to our handbook, I found one from 2003 the other day.
I don't even really.
There's also online, and maybe this is something, I don't know if it's our responsibility as a policy committee, but look at, because it looks like there's some duplicate ones, like a new one's posted, but there's an old one.
Matt's working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're having a hard time. We keep pulling them, Teresa keeps pulling them off, but they keep showing up
Hmm.
back on there again, so IT is working on to figure out why.
Okay. Okay. So, again, we have 3 meetings left. What I'd like to see done before the end of that is you guys get to the end of that and we address this and then we can look at where else we, part of the goal is to finish what we've started,
Yep.
but part of the other goal is to leave some, a pathway for the next group, whoever they may be, so they don't have, it just.
Set up a schedule, like, just set directions.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
sucks when every time somebody new, a new group comes in, then they gotta go start from the beginning again. It's just, it's nonsensical that there's no continuity, so if we have, at least that pathway, then they can use that. And they might say, screw it, we're gonna do our own thing, but at least,
But they have an inventory.
yeah, at least they have it.
Okay.
And it would just at least, I think, set the groundwork, especially in the initial stages until they figure out their own path, so.
All right, Carla, you and I will tackle
We
that.
did. I have the original assignment here.
We got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then you guys are gonna handle the attendance.
Attendance, and we're also, homework has expanded a little bit, just so everyone's aware, because now Phil and Diane are working with it as well. So there's gonna be a task force or a committee put together to really look at what we want the homework policy to say. I did share with Phil the CABE language that was shared last year, as well as our current language. So we're gonna be looking at that.
Yeah, it was a pretty hot topic during coffee and conversations this summer.
Homework? And was that because of AI or just because parents feel?
No,
that-
it was just a very divided group of parents that some felt that really homework is important and it should be given every night and it teaches work habits. And some felt that it was overwhelming and too much.
Mhm.
And then what really came out is we just have a large amount of inconsistency.
Yeah.
Elementary through high school. We have some schools that have teachers that are giving it pretty readily and some that are not giving it at all.
Yeah.
And so then it came to the parents that, well, we should all at least have access to the same. Even if we can't agree on what's the right or the wrong, everybody should have access to the same and not, not.
And it says
have
no
that.
homework will be given on Fridays, and I'm sure
Right,
some people give
right.
homework on Fridays.
Right, and there's like times in there, that progressive times within our policy
Yeah.
that say, in, fourth grade, you're gonna get 30 minutes and then
Mhm.
35 minutes and then 40 minutes and,
And 2 hours in high school.
right.
So would that be more of an administrative policy or would that be a board policy?
So it's a board policy,
Okay.
because it's your homework policy that goes in there, but Dr. Piazza is putting together an academic integrity task force, and then that group, along with some administrators, are just talking about that consistency for the homework policy. What is a middle ground that we can all agree upon Because we all know, data shows that it doesn't really do much for your actual learning homework, but it does do stuff for your habits.
So that would be a recommendation that comes through that task force to
Yeah.
the policy
Yeah.
committee?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not something we need to.
No, but you'll
this
have to read
body-
it and then
yeah,
do it.
well, Yeah, once you guys bring us something, then we won't, not something we'll have to tackle.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else?
I have a question
Yeah.
for Heather. Any lessons learned from the recent death of a Stratford school student?
Lessons as in.
Or
I
any
mean,
policy?
So there's no policies that are directly impacted on that.
Okay.
What we do reflect on is, bettering our partnerships. So right now, we are exploring increasing our partnership with the YMCA, who is willing to provide free swim lessons to all second graders. It's a YMCA national push,
Yeah.
where they will do Learn to Swim for all second graders. So we are starting to
Nice.
see if that's something we can make feasible, right? And how could you make that feasible? Because after school, how do people get there? How do people get home? If you do it during the school day, can it tie to a curriculum? So no
Right.
necessarily policy lessons or,
Yeah.
things within that nature.
As it
but-
relates to reaching out, providing
Yeah.
support, we don't have a policy for that.
Nope, so we have a crisis intervention plan, so it's not a policy.
So it
it's a-
falls under,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, so when we have tragedies, we have an action plan. So even though I was on vacation, we still had our action plan. That action plan went into effect. The contacts, the reach outs, the communication, those are all outlined in our crisis intervention plan.
Important, wonderful.
Yeah, but that's not a policy, that's a procedure.
Understood. Yeah, good.
I will say that I'm pleased that the YMCA does offer swimming to the kids who are in the YMCA after-school program.
Yeah.
They love it.
Do
They
they?
do.
Love
They
it.
do.
Oh,
And it's a
yeah.
great national program. It's it has a catchy name, I can't remember what it is, but it's basically across the nation, the YMCA's are committed to providing swim
Yeah.
lessons that every second grader learns to swim.
Oh.
And, there's districts within Connecticut that do it during the school day as a PE credit. So
Wow.
each second grader gets 6 weeks of swim lessons 2 times a week for 40 minutes. And the district provides the transportation to and from. And
That's
then
impressive.
we have now made sure every second grader had access to go learn to swim. And the YMCA does it for free, so they don't charge the district. They provide the
That's
swim lessons for free.
That's
Especially in
huge.
Stratford, we
That's
have,
great.
That's
that's
so-
the longest coastline in.
Undeveloped.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
That's
Stratford's
huge.
over
That's the longest
Yeah.
undeveloped.
Undeveloped.
So we're gonna explore, and,
We own
we'll
most,
make
the town, we
proposals,
own
that'll be for the
most
curriculum
coastline,
committee.
and whereas Milford, there's a lot of,
Yeah,
private ownership.
And beaches,
Yeah.
yeah.
At least own all of it. Anything else? So Teresa, if you could get to if you could just send PDFs to the board, if you have them in PDF?
I do.
Send these two, the red line 1000s and this one, and just let them know if anybody, ask if anybody wants a hard copy, you can include it in their pony.
Sure.
And then Chris and I obviously already have one, so, and just say, please, please bring your copies to the board, and that way you don't have to print out, 20 different of these, so, because we already have. them. So,
Okay.
Okay,
I will do it.
thank you. Anything else?
No?
So our next meeting is, what's the date?
September 17th.
October 17th.
September.
September.
September 17th.
Don't mean to rush it. September 17th, so everybody marks on the calendar. I think we've got some work to do between now and the end, so summer's over and there will be no more unexcused absences. So, all right, well, I appreciate you coming out and I appreciate all the hard work everybody's done. And look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
By Susan, second by Marini, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously.
Thank you, everyone. Great meeting.
Yeah.